ones, and this is episode 5. I got 5 on it.
5.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy Thursday, y'all. How y'all living?
It's a great Thursday. First Thursday in July. We on the downslope. We passed the apex of the year. We on the way down to December. Some days it feel like down, sometimes it feel like up, but it's a good day.
True.
Today was a good day.
Got that. What you, Sunil?
So earlier we had an interview. Yeah, we out here. Earlier we had the interview, and it was with Leah James, which we'll cut into later, but it was powerful. It was moving. It was uplifting. We definitely had a great time. It was me in June, and yeah, I mean, I can't complain right now. Things are going smooth.
Yeah, right on for taking leadership on that, man, and just taking initiative with connecting with June and making it happen.
It's all good. I mean, how you doing? How's things with you?
Man, I've been back to back, Zoom to Zoom, in every room. It's what I do. I've been cool. I just got off the live that I do for Upstar for my job and chopped it up with some artists on there. And yeah, man, feeling good. I got to hoop today. Got to sweat. You know
Nice.
what I'm saying? Alex, you know how important this is. As a personal trainer, I need to stay consistent. And that is where I struggle.
As humans, our bodies are built to move. And so if you don't do regular movement, even if it's not rigorous or strenuous, right? The regular movement is, key to being the whole self, right? That's the way I see it. A lot of times we misappropriate what that movement looks like, but really, taking time to move, is key to knowing who you are sometimes. And when we're denied that movement, whether it's because we're sitting at a cubicle or me playing video games, when we're denied that movement because of injury, it's a part of ourselves that's not there. Whether we want to admit it or not, whether we acknowledge it or not, or recognize it or not, always move.
Stay moving.
Don't stop.
Airplane.
Don't stop.
I mean,
Don't stop.
you
Don't
can't
stop.
do everything on the
Don't
runway.
stop.
That's the fly.
Don't stop.
So,
Yeah, man,
we should you should just send an invite to Toddy right now, one of the Beanie Boys, see if he just come in
Man,
real
and
quick.
just shows a little quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Toddy's dope. Hey, I'm going out to LA. Speaking of the Beanie Boys, we heading out to LA next week, doing a little introduction video to this group, and yeah, just try to, create some content out there, the little photo shoot, and knock out when the project is done. We're just going through the mixing, mastering stuff. So, right on for shouting out Toddy.
Yeah.
The rest of the gang. Shout out to Adrio Diaz and Malifornia, Malik Q.
Yeah, just like Cineo, Toddy also came out to my class one time, down over at the Salesforce Park when I would be yelling at folks, helping them become their true self.
Wait, is that when Cineo said that he went too hard? Was that the time you said you ran?
He had already went hard before that, and he didn't tell me that he was injured already. And so he just put, just put icing on the ankle cake, and he was just hurting afterwards. And it's cool though. I gave him a ride back to the spot, and he slapped some slaps, and vibed. The vibes. It's always good listening to some new Bay Area rap. At the time, I think 40 just dropped another one again.
Yeah.
40 dropped 2 projects a year. Shout out to E4O.
Shout out to E40.
Shout out to E40 for real. Because that workout I had, man, was a killer. I ran like through the city to some degree, right? Got to Salesforce, you know, Alex is over here leading a group of like 100 people who all sweating. I jump in. I already had an injury, pre-existing condition, right? I ran on top of it. Then he got us running around the Salesforce Tower like park. And then
Yeah.
our hands up.
Which is
Every time I do squats, I always keep my hands up because I'm like, this is a challenge. So yeah, if you want to get your sweat on, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a way, and Alex knows it.
No,
yeah, we got ways to grow.
Hey, speaking of that, I seen
Yeah.
on your story, man. You said you put up the question like, are folks ready to do a little social distance workout? What would that look like?
We'll put together a few locations around the city, probably the Bay Area too. I'm gonna put the bat signal out so people know, and just stay tuned at ALFLUENT is the IG, Alfluent, and my thing is I'm the community fitness guy, so sometimes you just need somebody to take the reins, help people get to where they need to go. I always see it as it's a tough thing to start, that self exploration of fitness, because it's really about yourself. Um, and I think the more you stay in it, the more you learn about yourself. And sometimes it's hard to get started. And people, if they show up to me, they come in with this mustard side seed of trust, and my job is to nurture that trust. Say this is a safe place for you to take it to the next level, whatever that next level looks like. Whether you've been doing it for a long time, in some form or fashion, or just getting started. The next level looks different every day, and it's put the hours in, put the time in, put the learning in, and my job is to teach you as much as I can, whether I get 30 minutes, an hour, or a year. My job is to pass on as much of what I've learned in the last decade, as possible. Well, I guess lifetime, really.
Solid.
Starting to sound like bombs over Baghdad outside right now.
Oh yeah, that part.
Outside the talking walls.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy Thursday, everybody. We on the eve. We 2 days before July 4th. It's just the fourth day of the week. It's really the homie Cross Allen's B-Day. That's what we celebrate around here.
Cross Allen's birthday. Now, I think
Right.
he ain't here right now. He ain't here yet, but he is an integral part to what we do, why we're here, and why this whole thing happens. So moving from very heavy content to now having a celebrated and highlighting another person within this much important community, we gonna touch on the lyrical one start, lyrical opposition, and Cross Allen's role within that whole movement. So while he ain't here, we're gonna talk behind his back. He gonna see the video footage. But who would like
Nice.
to kind of highlight their Cross Allen moments and memories in time?
Hey, Alex, you gotta lead this.
All right. So we can start off with this. I'm gonna just start with we call the story "The Man." So Cross Allen and I, we went to high school together, the T-Train Thurgood Marshall Academic High School. For those that don't know, the CNO, we got alumni in the building, alumnus, and back in the day. So I come from a single parent home, and we didn't always have all the up-to-date video games at the time. And Cross Allen, being a gamer like myself, he actually let me borrow his PS2, like a real one, which is why we still in effect today, because real ones do real things for real folks.
Break it, right?
Like let me borrow the whole system though, to the house, to the hizzle for a minute.
But like you gave and it still was working, right?
Yeah. I'm not. So that's another story. I'm not the one to burn out a system. But that's actually him. That's actually him, the one that's more likely to do that. But he let me borrow it, But I played it so long, I felt like it was mine. I gave it back, but I played it so long that I was able to start a career on Madden. Gave him real simple name. First name, D-A. Last name, man. 99 in the building, 99 all the way up, playing any position you want. So I return the system, return the game. Then I come visit, come out to his spot to play the game. I check on my character, erased. Right. Now, I didn't have no necessarily viable reason to be upset since it's not my system anyway. But I was distraught because, when you go in on the career, there's a lot of ups and downs. You feel like you're really going through a season or two or three, and you try to, you got your record, you got your stats, you got your trophies, erased, deleted, canceled. Still sore spot. Watch next time cross on. He gonna tell you how funny it is to him. Because if he was here right now, he'd just laugh like one of those guffaw laughs. And it still stings to this day. He erased the man.
Erase the man. Erase the man.
Cutthroat.
We started
heartbreak. Cutthroat Cross Allen.
That
like
sound like fraud.
Mac Dre. Cutthroat Committee.
Man, that's crazy. Like, cause I mean, that's especially like, at the time, like I know, like, we was playing football. Like, Madden was like, that was another way to channel your energies as an athlete and to like really get in the zone. And knowing that you started a career mode and you got dude to like play any position, 99 maxed out, that means you put in a lot of time, a lot of effort. So at the end of the day, he just took a whole piece of your life and threw it in the trash can and threw it just like destroyed it. Like that's time can't nobody get back. You know what I'm saying?
Right, like
that's
like a
right there.
Like a video film reel. Just like chopped it up, took that whole thing, trash.
Damn.
Whatever chances you had, we ain't even gonna get you injured. We gonna kidnap you and then you gonna be gone for 5 years. Like that's it. You gonna have to miss out on this experience.
But it's the trophies, man. It's the trophies.
It's painful.
Progress.
Wait, what year was this?
This had to be what
this is like 2000.
Okay.
It's like 2000, 2001.
Yeah, see? That's
hey
man. I mean, he was a real one for giving it to you. Like that's major. Like to give somebody your console, because it ain't like you walking around with 2 consoles. You know what I'm saying? Like
nah, not at all. He just waited for it to come back.
Did he have like a or something? Did he have an Xbox? What like?
What he didn't have was an excuse of why he couldn't even say he was making space for something else. He just laughed at me in my face. That's what he didn't have no excuse for why he did it. Just kind of like my bad. He do this look away. My bad.
Man. But he did let you borrow it. It's a 50-50, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was about to say.
But for those that don't know, we didn't have hard drives. We had memory cards. And if you didn't own your own memory card, whoever had your memory card, I tell you, if you didn't own your memory card and somebody else had it, that was your life. That was your whole life.
Right there.
You're mad your phone don't work. Oh, look who coming in. Look, da-da-ding, da-da-doom.
Oh, right.
The man of the hour, the man of the moment. We got Cross Allen in the building. The man who threw away the man himself. What he doing?
Man who erased the man.
The man who erased the man.
Special appearance. What's going on?
Special clearance.
What you renting out the movie?
How are you at the movie theater?
Yeah, he just flexing in COVID in the COVID world right now. He flexing in the
basically. I'm about to sign
all.
out in a little bit. Just wanted to flex one time.
That is a major flex, man. Like, how the hell you get up in there?
Yeah, lyrical ones, the opposition.
I'm at an undisclosed location. I'm in the X-Men Danger Room right now. This isn't a real thing. It's a simulation. What are y'all talking about right now?
We talking about demand. We talking about Madden. We talking about PS2. You tell me what we talking about.
You told him about the man PS2. We gotta
Told
get
the
something
world
to get it
about the
over here because
man.
he deleted the franchise.
Deleted the franchise player. All bad.
We really trying to uplift and highlight you, but you over here in outer space or something with the X-Men.
Hey, I'm trying to highlight that Steve Stout commercial, that AI and Jada Kiss Reebok commercial from back in the day. That's what I'm trying to highlight.
That's what you thinking about a few days from your birthday. You thinking about the answer. They even put a zone in the league to try to stop him.
For real, I'm trying to celebrate. Yeah, my birthday. You know, Kevin Durant year, but I'm trying to celebrate these NBA 2K intros. Take and tackle the challenge, crash, course, collision. You know.
For sure.
I
Like
understand
the contrast of heavy content to super lighthearted content all in one episode. Here we are, Lyrical Ones.
You gotta mesh it all up.
Just bounced out.
He just
Yeah, and he's out. Not a peace, deuces, salute, done flexing.
man, this is like we're living low key in prohibition times, and this man's like in a movie theater.
In a movie theater, he does have his mask on, and I didn't see anybody else around, so he might be also social distancing.
For real,
Okay,
all
that's a
by
good point.
himself in the whole movie theater.
He just
He gonna celebrate his birthday. He gonna do it real big, real big. Like, oh, y'all ain't got nobody in the movie. Can I get in there? Can I just sit here for 6 hours and we can just throw on some movies? Let's do a marathon. Right on. I'm gonna pay y'all $50. Thank you.
Right.
But you know, when I texted him, I'm paraphrasing it, but he was like, "Yeah, I'm in an important meeting Q&A for a film," or like just real light.
I mean, the thing I like to highlight about Cross is like you don't know what he's thinking. Like you don't know what's going on. Like the many occasions I've talked to him, you don't know if he's excited. You don't know if he's like happy. You just like it's all like
The poker face.
That's cool. I'd be like,
Yeah.
I'm playing my music. Everybody else be like, he'd be like, yeah, right on. See,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good guy to go into business with because it's like if you want somebody to like reserve any emotions, he will definitely look like a stone cliff of nothing.
Yep.
He played close to the vest, man. That's all. It's like
Straight
Professor X, man. You don't know Professor X thinking. He know what everybody else thinking.
Exactly.
Right.
Cross Allen.
And what is Wheels doing more than anything? Listening. Right. Elite communication is listening. And speaking of listening, that's kind of where we are right now in this world where we need more dialogue, but it starts with listening to each other's stories, uplifting those who have a story to tell. When we look at oppression, when we start to judge people and misuse words, even terms like Karen, to degrade folks, to make fun of folks. We repeat in cycles, when really it's an opportunity to educate, as well as listen. And it's funny because to educate actually means to bring out knowledge, and so to understand what you're teaching somebody, you need to give them a chance to express it, right, and exchange what their understanding, what their grasp of the concepts are. And I think it's a lot of talking at people right now, and comes from pain for sure. But when people in certain instances are ready to listen, I think we should take the time to do so, but also do the same. Give them the same favor in return, so that we can come to better understanding, because I think we're at a precipice where we can make a lot of headway and make a lot of growth, and we're not seeing all the laws change that we want to see change. We're not seeing legislation happen, but it's a litigious system that we're in, and we got an opportunity, to make headway, I think, at the voting polls. But before we get there, we still have to be loud. We still have to be willing to communicate effectively, as well as communicate understanding that we know that people are still lost. People are still not sure how to best help the situation, and if we can educate each other on the issues coming up ahead and really get to vote with our dollars and at the polls, then politicians got to listen. But it starts with us listening to each other, and that's not a political thing. That's a human thing. For us to listen to each other, that's a community thing. And if you're looking for somewhere to start, come to an outdoor workout and sweat a little bit, get tired a little bit, break bread a little bit, and put ourselves in a situation of controlled stress where we can have an exchange on the same level, because everybody gonna be tired.
Get your flex on, everybody. Get your flex on. I mean, it's crazy because you saying that. I mean, we touched on that inside. Not you. You the one working out all the time. So you flex, your shirt gonna rip off, and then it's gonna be a whole nother show. So
that's why I don't flex, because I like my clothes.
See, exactly. Keep your clothes.
Hulkamania style.
The thing is, right? Like you touched on like the whole concept of education, and I know for the sake of the illusion, I know it seemed as though everyone got to see the interview, but not everybody got to see the interview. So just kind of giving a little snapshot in the interview we did earlier, right? Like we talked about what it means to educate, inform, and have kind of the mindset of how do we stay pushing forward for what it is that we want, right? Like you touched on health, and I was touching on in the interview about your wellness, right? And you spoke on it, like a piece of yourself you can remain undiscovered if you don't challenge yourself physically, if you don't move, if you don't get in tune with your body. And so like, it's just something that I hope people understand, that we're, as much as we're having this conversation, like these are things that we all practice in some degree, right? Like whether it's going to hoop or whether it's jumping rope, like at some point you got to make time for yourself to be physical. And it is about your wellness, because you can't, if this is a marathon, right? If this is a machine we're up against, you can't burn out and expect to win, right? You can't burn out and expect to have anything sustainable. We have to be sustainable individuals so we can have a sustainable community. And so, highlighting that is important, because it's like people don't talk about it enough. People don't talk about eating vegetables or the importance of like, lean proteins or complex carbohydrates. Like these are conversations that should be existent and always had. Like we kids, we understand math, we understand, reading comprehension, right? But what are we reading about? Are we reading about things that are gonna proactively affect us every day? Like, I come from a family where a lot of cancer, a lot of diabetes, a lot of, we talking about heart problems, kidney failure. Like there's so many different levels to health, and the common conversation, oh, I'm about to go to McDonald's. You want anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, people, we ain't trying to tell you to change your life, but we are trying to provide an alternative. We are trying to provide another spectrum. We people of color who are trying to tell, everyone, like, look, it's okay to want to eat some brown rice.
Some brown rice, some cauliflower rice, start somewhere, some quinoa, find some alternatives. My thing is always with nutrition, Rand, is to open the doors wide open instead of closing them and say, I can't eat these things and I can only eat this. Like find the things that work for you. Find the things that benefit you and your body specifically. instead of, saying this worked for so and so, so I'm gonna try this. Um, get to a professional, get to a nutritionist, get your blood work done. Find out what works for your blood type. Find out, the shape of your body. Learn more about your genetics, and even find out the type of movement that works best for you, whether it's yoga or animal flow, or some form of resistance training, metabolic training, or some HIIT training, or some CrossFit with a good coach from a good box. Right now we're in a place where a lot of stuff has to happen digitally, via video calls and whatnot, or get a workout sent to you. Find out a way to explore what works best for you. And fitness is the pillars of fitness are like puzzle pieces, and they work because they're sustainable. If you fell off for whatever reason, then it was something that didn't work, whether it was the time of day, the people that you was doing it with, or you was doing it by yourself, or the intensity or the pace that you were progressing, you wasn't learning enough, you was learning too much. All those things matter when it comes to maintaining and being excited about your life. And that's really what it is, being excited about your quality of life, and finding ways to improve it. I've been able to work with all types of folks from 7 years old, well, really younger than that, TK to third graders, and 7 up to college and pro level athletes, power lifters. Like my oldest power lifter I worked with was 89 years old, and it's wild. Shout out to Roy Khan, who's a world record holder, and for his age group. RIP, actually, Roy Khan, 89-year-old, power lifter, doing it for a long time. And it's amazing what the body can do, when you challenge yourself. People don't even think, 89 years old, almost 90, powerlifting. People get started late. Some people get started early, but the biggest thing is you find what works for you and you stick with it. Keep that movement, keep that that adventurous mindset. Continue to find ways to rest and get sleep and recover, and then find proper nutrition that works for you. Those are things that are key, to looking after yourself, longevity, but also wellness. It helps with your your mental emotional regulation as well.
No, you're right. You're right. It's true. I mean, I can speak to it just because, I've had my own journey. I mean, Figo done seen it. People done been around it, but it's like, it happens over time. It doesn't. It's not something that's instantaneous, right? You can make a step forward, but you got to make sure it's consistent, and it has to be sustainable, right? If you can't sustain it and maintain it, then you might set yourself back, and you might cause some damage, cause some harm. I've seen so many people be like, oh yeah, I'm finna go run right now, I'm finna go do this, and they exert so much energy because they think they're making up for missed time or lost time, and they end up getting injured or they end up hurting themselves. And it's like, no, that's not the way. This isn't to hurt yourself, this is to help yourself, right? To reduce the harm. So, it's important. Like, understand it's a journey, and it takes time to learn what practice works for you as an individual.
And that's kind of where we are as a country right now, I think, where people are exerting a lot of energy, and it's not necessarily a focused flame that's burning, and people kind of burning, in all these different ways, and excited in a lot of different ways. And we see a lot of different things happening. A lot of groups, a lot of people behind behind the movement, wanting to see progress, and still it's a lot of misguided energy, that we have to continue to kind of reel people in and connect with people doing good, and continue to do good together.
No, for real, for real. This is I don't want to say it's random, but you mentioned how people are saying Karen as like a way of just kind of generalizing this character. Uh, how do you think people that are actually named Karen feel right now?
Mhm.
imagine your name's Karen right now. I mean, do y'all know any Karens? I don't know any Karens. I feel like I need some Karens at school.
I got
But
an
not like
auntie.
the character Karen, not the what she symbolizes.
No,
Like
I got an auntie. I got an auntie Karen. I got
okay,
an auntie Karen, and I know a few. I know some another Karen, and I heard I read I guess a poem or a piece, a post by a Karen who you know feel like the
like
the
damn, this
term
one Karen killed it for
disrespectful.
all the Karens.
Yeah. She's just like, you could do better as a Karen. You know,
Oh,
if
like the
you
poem is literally like be a better Karen.
yeah, well, yeah, from a black Karen,
Oh,
from
she's
a
trying to
black
let
Karen.
Karen know that she should start caring. You see what I did there?
Bars.
But yeah, I don't know.
Flame on.
That came to mind every now and then. I'm like, because there's other character names that have been, symbols for, right? Is there other names y'all can think of?
Yeah,
It becomes stamps.
Stamps. There you
yeah,
go. That's a good way to word it. Yeah.
yeah. Question for y'all, like,
Hmm.
since this is lyrical ones, I'm interested in like what y'all listening to lyrically right now. Figo, I know you putting out content left and right. Like
Another one this month. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. But who inspired? What's inspiring you right now in your writing?
Yeah, man. This dude, I believe he's from LA. He goes by Nilo, Nilo. And it's not even rap. It's like it's just literally poetry over
Yo.
instrumentation. It could be categorized as nerd rap. That's something I was reading up on his stuff. They're like, oh, this guy kind of falls under nerd rap, whatever genre or whatever box they're throwing him in. But yeah, man, there's a song called Metaphysics Folks or Metaphysic Folks. And he's under Nilo, Nilo. And yeah, man, he just like kind of like literally one of the first verses he talks about, he's like, I should get off my couch. I shouldn't watch Netflix. Something like just like real relatable bars that sometimes we get super complex and introspective and like he's just literally like, yeah, I should go do something with my life. And it's just internal dialogue. I'm into that. Into understanding what are you thinking? And then when it comes out in song form, it's really dope. So that's
Yeah.
one of the cats I've been listening to. And then I heard y'all seen the thing on IG or Jadakiss, or it wasn't on IG this time, Jadakiss versus Fabulous.
Yeah.
FABO, man. And I just had to go revisit some old Jadakiss. So it's funny that Christian mentioned the Jadakiss.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, Jada was a beast. So
Jada's still a beast.
yeah. Oh, word. I haven't heard the latest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ignatius
I know he
is
just
legit.
dropped some. Yeah.
Yeah, Ignatius is legit. Have you listened to their joint project, Freddie
Oh
versus
yeah, with
Jason?
D Block.
No, it's Fabulous and Jadakiss.
Oh no, I haven't. They did. Oh, that's right. They did do a full project, so it makes
Yeah, I
sense.
was waiting for them to play that on the verses, but they didn't get to it. They didn't play no tracks. They started to play something, and then they went another way.
Yeah,
It
man.
was it's good.
So
That's
that
one of my
balance
favorite. That's one of my favorite joints in the last couple
between
of years.
spitters like that, and then I got this new, I guess, new age rap, whatever you want to call it. That's kind of what I've been listening to, but just like a balance of shit I grew up on, and
Yeah.
how about y'all, man?
Well, for me, I'm gonna be real. I've been listening to a lot. I listen to a lot of different stuff as is.
Yeah.
When it comes to rap, recently I've revisited. I want to say like Freddie Gibbs, Currency, No Name, Smino. Like it's all over the place. But the one album that I've been like really jamming out to, like recently, is The Smartest by T Grizzly. Like The Smartest by T Grizzly is like it gets you hyped. And like, you know, he's speaking that like, you know, everybody against me, everybody, you know, wants something from me. And like at the same time, like you're witnessing kind of where he is in his journey, where, you know, he's had this really tragic loss in his family, and he's now trying to be like, he said like he's trying to be the smartest dude by not getting caught up, by not getting caught out there, by like being able to avoid all of the possible downfalls and pitfalls that are associated with being a black rapper from the hood. And like, you know, he said with all the spice that you need, all that aggressive content to be like, yeah,
that production,
I'm about to go get it. So, you know,
Yeah.
something tough.
I'm about to go get it.
About to go get it. What about
Nice. Yeah. Me, I'm always back and forth between the now and the past. Fantastic Negrito. I'm always, you know, jamming to him. He drops
He's from
something
out here
new
too,
this.
right? He from the
Yeah,
Bay?
he's from out here. Yeah, he's from the Bay, from the town. And then Rex Life Raj is also from the city. Um, and then still got James Brown and Bob Marley, Kamani Marley, and Kamani Marley in the rotation. I was listening to reggae today. It's one of those things. I always need positive music, so I'm always listening to soca music out of the Caribbean, out of Trinidad and Grenada, St. Lucia. Let me see. That project that Jada Kiss and Fabulous did is called Friday on Elm Street. So it's Freddie and Jason. And let me see. Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. I listen to a lot of lo-fi.
Oh yeah,
because I be chilling. I always need that. I need that vibe sometimes, especially if I gotta do like scheduling and things like that. Just coming down from like the information and disinformation of the world and social media. It's like when you gotta like scour and like scrape and scratch for like the truth. It gets cumbersome, and you know sometimes you get weary. You know, just finding all this dirt that's out there, and I just trying to find chill vibes sometimes.
yeah. See, now you got me thinking about each mood in which music fits into. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when you just the way you shared that makes me think of like when I'm studying, I gotta throw on jazz or just instrumentation, like some Miles Coltrane, like that. Just I don't know. I just vibe out and it allows me to focus. It's interesting. Like a legit had a teacher back in the day. I think it was like sixth grade. She threw on jazz and classical music when she would give us assignments, and I feel like my brain literally is able to go to that focus.
Jazz actually makes your brain stronger, man. Especially if you do it while you're studying, because it's a lot of improvisation, and so the patterns are kind of tossed to the wind. And so, like when your brain is waiting for that next chord to come in, that usually, right, jazz takes a left. Not only does it take a left, it take a loop and a right, and it starts in the beginning.
Yep.
And so your brain is doing that, processing that music while you're focused on your project, whatever you're working on, and it's actually building, your critical thinking power.
Dang, that's encouraging.
So you leveling up.
It's real.
Yeah, man. I could go on for days in this subject matter, obviously. Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, every mood. Y'all got me. See, now I almost feel like pulling out my phone and going through the playlist. I was slapping Mob Deep earlier today in the morning. I don't know why. It's just something about it. Something about how those drums hit. I think, yeah, Havoc was a beast on a lot of that production. So, something about the East Coast rap, man. I'm still a nerd and geek out to that because as much as I'm, this is the soil of the Bay Area, something about lyricism always kind of go back to the Mecca. Not to say we don't have lyricists out here, because lately some interesting I've been seeing is a lot of like, artists that were influential were listening to hieroglyphics, and I think I saw an interview, Andre 3000 was like, yeah, we were trying to emulate those guys. And that blew my mind because here you got Three Stacks, who the whole country is like, you know what I'm saying, just sees as one of the top 5 a lot of times, you know. So it was Three Stacks and Eminem that said how much hieroglyphics influenced them. And where are they from?
Yeah.
From this
Shout
source.
out to Hyro.
Man. So anyways, yeah, we could go down the rabbit hole when it comes to influences of music. And I mean, look, I got, you see this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I picked that shirt.
Yeah,
I was just biding my time, man.
Yeah,
Shout
man.
out to the purple one.
Yeah, man, the purple one, man. Royalty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Minneapolis is his hometown. He's still living out there when he passed away. All right, rest in power.
Yeah, man.
To George Floyd and Prince, man.
Word.
Now two men, from out of there. Well, George Floyd wasn't even from Minneapolis. Just get caught up. It's crazy, Remind me of like when Mac Dre passed, because he was out of town. He was away from home. And, we would have loved, for him to be home. And then, we got folks like the Jacka, rest in peace, who got caught up here.
Yeah.
Caught up at home. And it's one of the things we got to continue to switch the narratives, that we are not better together, because we really are. And we got to stop, trying to climb up over each other, and look to keep each other around.
Yeah.
So we can celebrate our legends.
Word.
While they're still here, and and give props to the new legends, on their way up.
Yeah.
Like Figo Navarro, De La Paz, real legends on the way up.
Man,
Folks
Alex Osborn, Cineo, come on, man. Lyrical ones, June. Yeah, man. It takes a village,
Yeah, we doing it together, man. We doing it together for sure.
Hey, but we were just, all right. This last question revolving music, so I don't continue diving in. What is the music that you discuss about jazz and how that gets your brain going? How about working out? Like people have different workout playlists. What is Alex Osborn listening to when he's working out? We trying
to. So I play music for my soul. You may it's not about the pace, it's not about the RPMs.
It's not about the tempo. Yeah.
I mean BPMs, not about the beats per minute. It's not sorry, I'll be thinking about moving fast. RPMs, I be moving. No, it's not about BPMs, it's I will go all over the place from Ghostface to Diplo to James Brown to Bobby Blue Bland. I will go to Beanie Man, to Machel Montano. Like I will go to Shinsia. Like I was just listening to 93 Till Infinity the other day. I play Trick Daddy and Trina, Trick Daddy Dollars. Slip and Slide Crew out of Miami. I play Two Live Crew. I play Eshawn Burgundy, like habitually. It's just music that I could kind of dive into, listen to, and just things that hit my bones. That's always I can go all over the place with music. And it ain't got to be fast or slow. Because my mindset is, how do I get to a place where I am reliant on God? And because I'm trying to recreate that in a controlled space, because that's when we grow, when we're at our bottom. And so in my workout, I'm trying to recreate that bottom that life is going to try to toss me into, that depth, that well that life is going to try to push me down into. In my workouts, I'm trying to get there to that space where the only thing keeping me alive is something out of my control. And then how do I respond to that? but I can't respond to it unless I get there and, you know, get in there as a practice. And so that's kind of where my mindset is. There goes the game.
I love that, man. That's real. So with you, Cineo, well, where do you tap in, man? This is
For the workout,
yeah, man.
man. For the workout, I mean, honestly, it's all over the place too. Like, I mean, the thing is, it's hard to even narrow it down to one artist because, like, I mean, you talk about genre, we talking about old soul music, old R&B music, and I'm talking about eras. I'm talking about anything from the 50s to now. If it has any inclination to reach my heart, I'm gonna listen to it. You know, like that's
I was working out. Yeah, yeah.
as far as working out. Yeah, as far as working, I mean, life in general. Like,
Word.
I remember I was doing a competition, and to get myself pumped, it was Daft Punk's "Doing It Right." And I remember my coach was so upset because he was like, "This isn't gonna get you pumped. Like, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Yo, like this is me right now. This is what I need." You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, music. It's whatever is gonna, you know, to me, it's whatever moves you and whatever resonates within your soul, whatever touches your heart. And you know, I would say the thing I play the most working out that I find myself somehow always stumbling back to, if it's not myself, it's the Tekken 3 soundtrack of Remixes. The Tekken 3 soundtrack of Remixes is the most eclectic sounding musical soundtrack I've ever heard in my life. But at the same time, like, it gets you pumped. Like, we talking about, like, my go-tos is these right here: King, Eddie Gordo, Law, and we talking about Hahachi, Ogre, and to True Ogre. Like, you do a workout off of those, you gonna feel like you've climbed Mount Everest. You gonna feel like you've done battled and went through everything. Like, those 4 songs, especially when I get to those 4 songs, my workout is at its peak. Like, I'm pushing past all my limits, every barrier. I'm like, I gotta go Super Saiyan. The hair gotta go blonde right now. Like, I gotta run into another dimension. So that's my workout playlist, if you will.
So if we talking about like where songs occur in the workout, like Brian Fury's theme starts in the beginning of the workout. Then I got Jay-Z's "What More Can I Say" is like in the middle of the middle of the workout, and then toward the end, I may end up with the second theme from Attack on Titan, season 2, toward the end to kind of bring me back down, or it might take me up again, because I might get that second win or that third win, and I still gotta get all of this energy out of me. I gotta get all this extra out of me, and that the Jay-Z's "What More Can I Say" always put that switch on there, and also 8Ball and MJG, "You Don't Want No Drama." Yeah, that always take me there. Outkast, Mighty O. Yeah, I guess all over the place. Earth, Wind and Fire, I could take it there off of that.
Put some of that Gap Band on it. Put some Charlie.
Gap Band, Boss Tycoon, Mac Dre, Yugmouth. Yeah, it could get started any kind of way.
We could go there.
Before Night Run, play some Al Green.
Oh yeah. Fun fact: my first concert that I ever had tickets for was Al Green in Oakland at the Paramount.
Legendary.
That's what's up.
My first concert that I ever had tickets for.
That's dope. That's hella dope. Love Al Green. But you know, as you see, music is a universal language, right? Like, I mean, just to bring it out, like Teriyaki Boys, they're from Japan, right? And like, you know, for me, it was just dope to hear a different language, right? Like, there's music from other countries that, you know, I mean, you listen to Cuban music. Like, Cuban music is some of the best music in the world. Like, you don't have to understand it to feel it. Like, just listen to it. It's gonna speak to your soul. So, you know, it's one of those things that music, you know, it is a healing thing, right? Like, we talking about wellness right now. We talking about your whole self, your health, and music and fitness go hand in hand. I mean, every time I see an athlete, they gonna try and somehow sell you some Beats by Dre or some type of some type of headphones. Like, you know, it goes hand in hand. So it's like, you know, people, if you love music, the least you could do is dance. So, you know, get moving.
Yeah.
Get moving.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's real talk. And if you, another great dance music is also Afro beats, Sarkodie, Davido, Wizkid. Make sure, you know, folks out of Ghana, West Africa, Nigeria, everybody's burning boys on everybody's scope right now and making music. Shout out to Mr. Easy also. That Afro beats, that, you know, that music from the motherland.
Wait, but you've been in these spaces though too. You've traveled. You're a traveling man.
Well, that's also the part of it, man. It's like to go to the places where the music is made, like to see, you know, what they're talking about. That's like another thing. It's like, you know, when they say like numbers and sounds have colors, and to see what the artist is painting with, you know, some of that is going to where they come from, going to those places. Yeah, so I got to go to Ghana last year. That was dope. It was, what tripped me out was going 7,000 miles away to feel at home, and to, you know, have a feeling that I had never felt before. You know, even though I love the city I'm from, I never felt at home like I did when I was in Ghana. That was wild to me, to be in, you know, in the towns. And I probably traveled like 500 miles while I was there. You know, stayed in different cities, you know, 2 nights over here, 2 nights over there, a night this direction, went east, went west, central. And they rock with us heavy. It was just a powerful experience. Whenever we can get out the country. I feel like I waited too late. Make sure you got your passport while we're in this, you know, this COVID world, while things are slowed down. You know, I think that's one of the best things you could do with your unemployment check if y'all not working, is get your passport, put the money in on your passport, get that taken care of. Like those offices, those essential offices open downtown at City Hall. Go get your Social Security if you need it, or your birth certificate if you need it. Go do what you got to do to get your passport so it's ready when they open them gates back up, and countries open their borders. You know, do your research. You can get your shots right now. They doing elective, you know, procedures or whatever. So you can go get vaccinations for travel. You can get that right now at the hospitals as well. Get that taken care of early, so you ain't got to worry about it when it's time to travel. And then, yeah, do your research. Talk to travel agents. Talk to groups. There's a lot of groups that's doing stuff for people of color right now, and it's a great time to get out, especially because the world, the planet is listening and following along with the Black Lives Matter movement, BLM movement, and they're taking their cues from what's happening here in the States. And it's a lot of people, you know, fighting for equality and equity, whether it's in Yemen or Hong Kong or in the States. It's a lot going on the planet, and people are more aware of what's happening to Black people in the States now than they ever been, I think. At the same time, it's a lot of people denying it to the best of their ability, and, you know, as well. And, you know, the planet as a whole, well, we're the United States, and, you know, Western civilization as a group does not acknowledge, the wrong of the transatlantic slave trade. Um, that's why people can't just expect reparations because folks don't want to let go of that they was right. Um, and that's the crazy thing, because if you think you was right, to treat people like they was less than human, to treat people like property, you're not gonna change a lot of things. You're not gonna rewrite no history books and tell the truth. You gonna do what you can. You're not gonna take it out of your constitution. You go write an amendment. But the same law is still right there in the Constitution that folks is 3/5 human. And the only way to, like, if there was a video, if there was body cam footage, of them shooting Breonna Taylor, in her bed, then just the viral activity of Black suffering and Black body suffering is the only way to seem to make noise. Is the only thing that brings any kind of change. Is that we have to suffer enough, or it has to get enough exposure, or we have to experience enough trauma for money to move. Because money, that's all it is money that don't want to move. Racism is economic. It's not personal. It just feel like it because they want to keep their money.
Well, I mean, it's even more crazier. It's like those with money, right? They get paid off of it, and those with it's just these seeds that are planted to keep those in power. Like, when you were saying all that, it reminded me of what I saw. I saw a video on the United Daughters of the Confederacy and how these women came together in the South after the Civil War so they could maintain their legacy and their heritage. And the way they did that was they started propping up statues all over the South of Confederate soldiers, right? Like, this is the losing side, right? Like, y'all was the losers. But they created their version of history so that way they could maintain posterity with what they believe. And that trickled down into the next generation of kids, and then they grew up to become politicians who then enacted all of these segregation laws. So it's one of those things where it is this vicious cycle, right? It's like on one end there's those with power where it's economic, and then there's those that just don't know anything else, that have been literally raised into it to believe that this is truth, and then they perpetuate that truth, which is false, it's lies, it's propaganda, to maintain a difference in how we live our lives, right? We got what we got, y'all ain't got what we got, so we gonna keep it separate. And it's like also speaking to it, like, oddly enough, wearing this mask, I don't know if anybody's seen this, but I do recommend it. It's called The Watchmen. It's a show on HBO, and it is like a morphed version of where we are right now, because it's the first episode, without giving away the rest of the series, starts off in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? Right when the riots happened, right when they tore down Black Wall Street. Like, that's where it takes you, right in the middle of it. And me, I didn't even know about Black Wall Street until I hit my 20s. Like, I remember I went to see a movie about it and was like amazed that this thing existed, but I was also like had to cope with the fact that my history has been kept hidden from me. When I went to school, like, this wasn't discussed. We didn't talk about this. We didn't know that this existed. And it took for someone to bring me to something to show me, oh, this is a part of my history. This is the reality of what's happened. So it's like, the vicious violence and the vicious pain that's been done. It's also a lot of acknowledgement around the history that's already been laid before us, of how not to repeat those steps, how to avoid those things, and how to progress in a way that is positive. Because like, at every turn you can find something, and it's best to know what's happened already, because that way you don't lose your momentum, you don't lose your energy. Because me, I already knew, like, the racism exists, but it wasn't until I hit my 20s I was like, oh, they slaughtered a whole town out of them having money. Like, let's be clear, it was straight jealousy. It was straight us trying to impose our economic power by just slaughtering people. And who are the people they slaughtering? Black people. So it's like, for people out there, like, be aware, get in the know, understand. And, to some degree, hopefully you can create a refined approach to how to vote with your dollars, to how to show up in a way. And when we say vote with your dollars, right, that's like your dollars count. Where you put your dollars is going to make someone either empowered or it's going to leave somebody without. So when you voting with your money, that means where you spend it, where you share it, where you give it, you have to be mindful of what is that contributing. Because me, I'm like, yo, somebody in and out, one of the presidents he gonna support old boy. Nah, I'm cool. I can't do it. I love you. I miss you. I hope you get your act together, but I'm gonna make my own burgers. I'm gonna go get my own bison burgers and make them and be grilling and chilling. Because as far as I'm concerned, I know that my contributions, I can't vote with my money here. I gotta go elsewhere. So just be mindful, be aware, get to know and understand.
Word. I got pulled over by police last night.
Where were you? Where were you at?
I was actually exiting on 6th Street. Yeah, a 7th Street exit to drop off a friend. And as I was pulling, I got pulled over, the lights and the whole thing, right? And it's been a while, but she's like, oh, are you okay? Like, she was freaking out. And I'm like, nah, this has happened, but obviously with the constant, the constant videos we're seeing, it's like everyone's on edge, So I had that little moment of like, yo, this could be a situation that could lead into, so, but interesting enough, I pull over, he does the instructions, and he's like, hey, you were swerving. Oh no, he's literally had me roll down the window. He's like, how much did you drink tonight? Like literally, just the first thing he asked me. I said, I haven't drank. Then the second question was like, what did you drink? I said, water, which is true, but just interesting enough, like just the way he went about it, and and he had me roll down my window, and then he did the finger test, he did this one, and then I have and then dude is flashing his light, his partner's flashing the light, inside the car and doing all that, like as if I'm looking for something. But this was very odd, and I get why they did it, but I was wearing a beanie, and had me take off my beanie, and it was just like, check my hair too, like what is going on? And in the past, I've been checked for tattoos or whatnot, which is weird that like he had me take off my beanie. It was just like the weirdest thing, because it's like, if I'm driving, I don't know, if I were to have narcotics or something, I'm just gonna put it there. I mean, there's like a lot of space in the car to throw it somewhere else. I don't know. I was just thinking about his logic. But what I'm trying to get at is that, my friend who I was with, she was like considering filming it, right? And I was like, nah, it's good, because I think we're also in a space of filming could trigger the officer to feel some type of way about it, So I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's a gamble, because then again, it could lead into something, and a camera would be supportive, But I put my hands on the steering wheel, so I'm showing him that I'm like, hey, my hands are present in front of you, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna let you go off with a warning. But it's obviously because I'm staring at his eyes, like, and I even told her, I was like, was I turning weird? Did you feel like, but it was definitely, I'm driving pretty late with a beanie on, and whatever description he viewed me as, what I'm saying? Like maybe it looked like one of the little homie characters from the, the 50 Cent machines or whatever. But yeah, man, it's been a minute since it happened. And I think this one hit differently, being that it's now it's 24/7 in our face, incident of it going the other way. And, Stinio knows this. I've had a few, since a teenager, I've been having my conflicts with officers, and a lot of times it's because I would talk back, and what I'm saying, but I don't think it gave them the right, like, for, not to get on some testimonial, but 17 years old, being stomped on the ground, and you don't do that to a kid, man. So as I got older, I just learned these guys just want you to say yes, yes sir, yes sir. Even if you know you're right, you know what I'm saying? It's like this act we got to play on. Because that could have turned completely different if I would have been like, nah, I didn't. I was driving correctly, sir. What are you talking about? Now I'm like questioning his authority. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I bring all this up to, we talking about education. Unfortunately, I feel like this is something we got to train our youth now more than ever of how to play the game, how to operate. Because part of it is some psychology behind it. That could have completely went off the other way if I would have been like, I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you asking me if I drink or not? You know what I'm saying? You got to play the game. And don't get me wrong, a part of me was like, wanted to say a whole bunch of other things. But I have a friend with me that I'm thinking about her safety. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I just brought that up because as we're discussing the system we're living in, I think about, yeah, man, like just my community. That's also, you know what I'm saying? Being the fact that I think about a whole ICE thing, just a whole lot of things going on. And yeah, I feel overwhelmed. And so I just want to share that because I was like, man, you know what better place to just talk about it as personal experience. And this just happened last night. So there's a lot of education behind the system that we have to let folks know about, That's even just knowing how to talk to the cops. But yeah. Anyway, thank you for letting me vent. I know I kind of went left field, but I think there's some relativity right there.
Oh, it's hyper relevant, man. Like, first off, thankfully you safe. You here with us. You know what I'm saying? Because it is one of those things where, it could have went left. And that, unfortunately, like even the fact that you got to negotiate, like I've had to do those same negotiations. I've been in the same situation, right? Where it's like, you get pulled over and it's like, you do have to put on that act like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. Sorry, sir. Even though you didn't do nothing wrong. It's just straight up like, let me submit to you and your power of authority over me in this moment because I know this could be life or death. Yep. I know it ain't gonna be nobody else life or death in the balance but my own. So it's like I gotta all the way be lesser than what I want to be because you have the ability to determine how this is gonna go. You could take away my freedom. You could take away my life. So I have to be mindful of stroking your ego, right? Like,
pretty much, yeah, literally.
I gotta stroke your ego. I gotta put it on thick. Like, like I'm, speaking of my experiences, like I remember somebody had told me like, like the best way to do it is put everything on the dashboard. And that's what I started doing. I was like, all right, I'm going to turn off the car. I'm going to put my keys on the dashboard. I'm going to put my license on the dashboard. I'm going to put my registration on the dashboard. And I'll be like, everything's right there on the window, in front of the window. Because I don't have time for you to want to mistake a sudden movement or me searching for something to be he had a weapon. Like, I don't be knowing half the things I have in my glove compartment. So what, I'm supposed to just open it up and be like, yeah. And then I have to deal with maybe you don't even have good vision. Like, I got to deal with your fears and your internal struggles and make a mistake that wasn't a mistake. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel you, man. Like, it's tough because it's like, people talk about living in a surveillance state, and it's like you even had to negotiate within yourself, like, yeah, we shouldn't film them because it might trigger a response. But it's like, I always look at it like this. Like, what if you had a dash cam? What if you had a dash cam and he's saying you swerved and you go replay the footage and you see you did everything right? And it's like, well, okay, then now you have probable cause to bring up, because this is the thing that my other self, like I said it before in another episode, people don't do like official complaints towards the police enough. And they have to. You have a right to do so. You have a right to know what's their name, to know their badge number, and to take that information down, right? And yes, it could make a response where they feel and they want to antagonize you, right? Like they want to become aggressive towards you, but you have a right to do so. And you have a right to file a formal complaint and let it be known. Now, the thing is, people don't do it. I've talked to so many people who've been put in so many messed up, horrible, abusive situations at the hands of law enforcement And what ends up happening is when it comes time to say, all right, do you want to file a complaint? 9 times out of 10, and I'm telling you, because I've literally worked at the point of arrest. I've literally worked with people who've been arrested, and I'm sitting there talking to them as a community person, telling them, all right, do you want to file a complaint? And this is after they've received their citation. This is after they've been fingerprinted. This is literally what I'm saying. Would you want to file a complaint? After they've told me their whole story, their tears in their eyes. And what do they say? Nah, I'm good. I'm okay. I don't want to deal with it. Right? Like, you're right. And I get it. Like, it's traumatizing. It's scary to even have to think, I gotta go back and deal with y'all again to some degree. And y'all have a unified front. Y'all have a police union. Y'all have money that's literally stashed away just for the cases or just for the cash out. Like, people don't even trip off that. They cash you out and they have money set aside for that, right? So it's like, but who am I? I'm one person. Maybe I got a family, maybe I don't, and I'm supposed to go up against y'all. So it's, it's just crazy, man, when I hear you say that story and how much it brings up all these emotions, feelings, because it's like every time I'm cool, but after I'm pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm
straight up.
You know what I'm saying? I'm shaking. Like, I'm like, on one hand, I'm angry, and on the other hand, I'm like, yo, that could have been my last moment. That could have been the last thing I ever did. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm double parked, and oh my God, it could have been my life.
This whole other thing,
Every time I'm shaking.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Every time. Like,
yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
It brought me back. It's been a minute, so it brought me back to other incidents where, you know what I'm saying, I got the homie telling me, hey, bro, like, chill out. You ain't got to say nothing, and I had to literally go back to that in order to maintain my composure. Because
Tupac moments, young Figo out here on his Tupac hypes, all right?
Man, I can't go out like that. And
he was a young man, a young man. Yeah. And I feel you, man. But it was on one end, it was justified because you wasn't angry out of nothing. You was angry because of the world we in which you had to witness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is
Brett, if we had cameras back then, Brett, I'm telling you, I mean, I always go back to the time I got stomped down. I mean, I could have got a cool lawsuit, man. I'm just saying.
Could have got cashed out, man. Could have got your.
I could have got a car earlier in my life.
A little bit earlier. Who knows if you could have kept the car, but you would have.
I know, right? That's true.
So I feel you because it is one of those things that you got to think about. Like, we live in this age where, like I said, it's a surveillance age, right? And it's like, I hate to be the one to say it, but it's like just as much as they film us, we got to film them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Police to police, man.
There's two sides to the story. And the thing is, I know that they take an oath. I know they take a challenging job, but at the end of the day, you're still a person, and people make mistakes. People will do things. People will hide things. People, I mean, you could look at the Khalif Browder story and watch it on Netflix. That's not an isolated event. That's not just he's not an outlier in a situation. The only thing that makes him an outlier is that Jay-Z decided to want to executive produce and highlight his story, because there's so many more stories like that, and it happens all the time. So it's like all that takes is one interaction, right? Like it could have literally been like, oh, it's the first of the month. Let's see if we can get something for our quota.
Yeah.
I see your car. You know what? You're gonna be my target for the night.
Yep.
You're gonna be
man.
What I use to make an excuse for what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
Take your
So we gotta educate our youth, man, to stay prepared and learn how to operate in those spaces. Because I know damn well at a certain age, I especially when I know I'm not wrong, it was so easy for me to be like, just want to pop off, and now they got an excuse. Oh, you're not cooperating. Oh, you're speaking back to me. Oh, can you step out the car? You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, it could just, in a matter of seconds, your life could be in a whole different space. So, I'm grateful, man, that voice, that experience was able to kick in. But I think for a lot of youth, they don't have that. And everything is just like, you know what I'm saying? Right there at that moment, they react, flight or fight. And want to encourage folks that as we're actually discussing this, you know, with the organization I'm working with, some of the folks I'm working there, it's like, what is that going to look like? And also in reaching out to some officers to like speak on it, kind of like what you did, you know, a few years ago, Cineo, like we need to address these things with actual people that are in the work as well. Because until we start that dialogue, it's just going to keep being like, nah, F them. And you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, just to kind of highlight it and put it out there for people that don't know,
Yeah.
you know, we're all coming from the San Francisco Bay Area, and within San Francisco, there is an organization called CARC, right? Community Assessment and Resource Center. They are a part of Huckleberry Youth Programs, and so to kind of touch on both, right? Huckleberry Youth Programs was started by Huckleberry House, which exists in the Haight, which was for kids who were running away. It was about 50 years ago during the Summer of Love. So kids were coming to, you know, from all over the U.S. coming to San Francisco during the Summer of Love. We talking about protests. We talking about people who are, you know, the hippie movement, people trying to find liberty and liberation and freedom through, you know, being in San Francisco, right? The progressive movement, that era. And this person opened up their home to kids who were running away from home because they were trying to run away from all their problems. So Huckleberry Youth Programs is now 50 years later, has all these different aspects to their program. And one of them is about juvenile justice and reducing the recidivism rate. Now, recidivism means rearrest, those who get arrested and get rearrested, right? So what they're trying to do is they intervene at the point of arrest if a juvenile or a youth qualifies. What they can do is they can introduce them to services, and it's a diversion program. It's trying to divert them from getting involved into the system of incarceration. So this is a program that's been around for over 20 years, and what they do is they are trying to change the narrative of how we engage law enforcement, how we engage the justice system. And people don't really realize this, but like San Francisco is I think it's one of the only juvenile justice probation departments in I think the state and the country. Like, you have to understand that, like, juvenile justice is usually a part of the adult justice system, right? The adult probation system. There's no separation. San Francisco, because of all of the progressive measures, tried to keep it separate. And within that, took it a step further. This happened, like I said, about 20 years ago. They were like, all these kids are getting arrested. Why? Well, it's because these kids need support. And so what CARC does, the Community Assessment and Resource Center, is it gives them case managers to then support them with getting resources, whether it's jobs, you know, figuring out what's their situation with their health care, their mental health, getting them counselors, you know, showing up at the school so they can, you know, get the basic things they need, having an advocate in the room. I can't tell you how many times I've been able to see the other side of how your principals, your teachers, everybody, they have their own agenda. And 9 times out of the 10 that I've seen, it doesn't really include what the youth needs. It usually is just based off of what can we do and what do I want? Not you as a youth, me as an adult, right? So to me, it's one of those things that people aren't aware. So if you are in the San Francisco Bay Area, or if you are looking to get some insight into what it means to be, you know, a diversion program and to see the inner workings of kind of how do we move and progress things forward, I think that CARC is a good place to start that conversation, because they've been involved in the work for so long when it comes to working with the juvenile probation department in San Francisco, and what it means to create non-traditional means of, you know, how do we repair the harm that's done in our communities every day, right? Kids are going to make mistakes, and the last thing we need to do is make them out to be criminals, when in reality, I mean, like I said, everybody got their own thing they trying to see happen. And especially when it comes to you being a police officer, I could talk about it to no end. There's so many police officers who don't come from San Francisco, who don't want to work with kids. And here we are intersecting with not only the culture of what already existed before you became a police officer, but now you got to interact with an individual who you have no want to interact with. And trust me, they're out there. They don't want to work with them. They don't want to have a conversation with them. And now they got to sit up here and say, all right, I'm going to read your Miranda rights. Trust me, things get dicey. So, you know, For those that are interested, it's out there. Like I said, Huckleberry Youth Programs, CARC, CARC. And, you know, just get informed. Be inclined to know. There's programs and services out there. And, you know, get to know it so you can duplicate it or make it, you know, on a grander scale for more people to have access.
Yeah, man. Salute, man. Dropping knowledge and wisdom, man. Yeah, man. You're encyclopedia, bro. I just gotta say that because as you're sharing all this information, it's like this is stuff that once again I say this. I feel like it's the 5th episode now. We need to be teaching this at schools, man. And after this whole thing is over, I think we're gonna have to reevaluate what education looks like.
For
You
real.
know, they're looking at it now. You know what I mean?
Yes, bro. I'm out here. I'm trying to get everybody. Everybody need a penal code book. Everybody need a penal code book. How we gonna sit up here and say we free? We don't even know how our freedoms could be taken away. Like we don't. Like, bruh. Like for real. Like I get on Instagram. I know there's gonna be somebody who knows what's going on with Kim Kardashian. I try to avoid it, but
Yeah.
I know it's somebody who knows. So
Yeah.
if I ask them, hey, what's the penal code for jaywalking?
But you hear that new Kanye though? That new Kanye with, you know what I'm saying? Wash us with your blood. Dr. Dre, Jesus King Part 2. Hey man, I know you're excited. There's some the music enthusiasts and lovers excited about that. But yes, back to the main point. I'm more informed about Kanye's new song than my.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that like
I knew where you was going with it. I just want.
When I think about freedom, right? Like
Yeah.
you're only as free as what your limitations are, right? And we can't act like there aren't limitations. Like there are laws, and if you break a law, that means that you're taking away your freedom. And so to me, I'm always pushing people to be like, get to know that, right? Penal code books, they're updated every year with the new laws. So if that's the case, you need to be up on game with what the new laws are. And so to me, it's important to engage with it rather than act like it's just cool to just have it not be there. So, you know, to me, I'm just like, get to know what the law is, get to know what's out there, because it's important just as much as we love to see what's the newest Yeezys gonna look like with the newest Yeezys, but what's the newest law, right? What's the newest law that's on the books? Because you could break it and that could be your whole life. That could be it. You finito la música, you gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Think about those things. It's important. It's important for all of us to be engaged, to be informed, right? I think penal code books should be given freely. I think we should be, just like they dropped the phone book off, it's the same size. It's the same size. You can't just give it to us for free, for real.
Yeah, they should be available.
The laws.
In public spaces, they should be available. You know what I'm saying?
The laws, bro. These are the laws. These are the things we need to know. We can't get it
to function as a society, and yeah, I got you.
They still dropping off phone books, bro. We got cell phones. What we doing out here?
Hey man, my phone rang right when you said that, man. That was too like.
Cause you know they listening to us. We sitting up here. We sitting here protesting on a billionaire platform. Think about that. I said in the interview, I'm saying it again. We protest on a billionaire platform. Think about that, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to start rocking the mask too, bro.
Who getting paid? Exactly. You see how I'm wilding out here? It's wilding, but it's true. It's like we protest and they profit from our protests, right? Every retweet, every hashtag, every share.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've been saying that.
Like, it's not trending, y'all. It's not trending, and then we try to get it trended. But guess what? Either way it goes,
they running it. Yeah, they get to run when it's trending because it's still going on. Folks are still protesting. You don't see it as much on your timeline. Guess what? You know, they out there. They get to mess with the algorithms and, you know, give you the information they want you to see at the time they want you to see it, you know? So, yeah, man, stay woke, man. And I know you stay with it. So, yeah, man. Lyrical Ones episode 5. Y'all wasn't ready. We hit them from different angles. We get a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Just a little health. We can break it down. You know, Alex, you just hit us with some health and wellness, and you know what I'm saying? We spoke of the music and how music moves us in different spaces. We've been talking about the world we live in with, you know, the justice system. Man, and you even drove back home through this whole episode and have this fire background. as through it all, like it's been a lovely Thursday night. You hear my phone's ringing when my boy's talking about the bed pulling up. We out here, man.
Out here.
Yeah, you got pulled over the other night.
Yeah, man.
You talking about the penal code. Talking about, this nutrition, these workouts. See me get that little quick shoulder pump in.
I'm about to be on it tonight. As soon as I get off of here, I'm taking the mask off. I'm about to go get the weights. About to hit the arm curls. I got to get.
Believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to stretch things out. The back nice. At 30 feel different.
That rubber roller. It's real life.
Trying to properly do it.
Go back. For real. Yeah. Work your back out for real. And I don't mean just work it out in that one way. I mean like really intentionally isolate muscles and work your back out.
Yeah, that is true. All exercises play a role.
For real.
Yeah, man.
Important.
You know this. Man, y'all, any final thoughts as we conclude episode 5 of the Lyrical Ones? I don't know.
The heat, that's what's finna happen. He hopped on and hopped off when we tried to celebrate him. I like how he did that. It was a real classy G move. But I got him. One of these episodes, this is going to come. I'm going to catch him slipping. I'm just going to hit him with a lot of love. A lot of love.
Yeah, we definitely need Cross to I feel like he's slowly doing the like, oh, I could become the once in a blue moon guy.
Oh, he definitely trying to do that. But once that blue moon hit, it's going to hit.
Yeah. We're going to pull up on him. I know you being disciplined, but, we're going to pull up on him tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. We might have to hit you with the FaceTime, like, you're here in spirit.
It's all, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love you. Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it. Like, it means a lot. And, you
computer love.
Like this is, to many more laps around the sun. This is definitely a marathon, and you're winning your race. That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it. You're bringing people together. You're giving us a platform. You're highlighting us, and we want to highlight you. And so, celebrate your time, this new year that's upon you, your personal New Year's Day. Like, enjoy it.
Straight up, man. You are loved, man. You're cared for. And yeah, man, family out here, man. So we riding straight up. 2020, man, to infinity. So
happy life anniversary, Cross Allen. I'm going to bed because I got to train somebody at 5 a.m.
Yes, that part.
That's
so as I hit them with the outro, I mean, hey man, I don't know if you have the music queued up. Cineo just flipped the June sample. You might want to stick around for this last minute, Alex. You might just need to hear that. I don't know if you could queue it up.
I mean, look, if you put thumbs up, I'll turn it up. If you put thumbs down, I'll turn it down. Y'all ready?
Okay, perfect. So let me just start off with this. I go by Figo Navarro. I'm with my bro Cineo, Alex Osborn, and this is Lyrical Ones, episode 5. Hit it. Yeah. Y'all thought we wasn't ready, but we are.